Hello and welcome to Feminine Success Secrets, where you can come to learn how to be powerfully feminine again. I am Candice Oneida. In today's video, I'm answering a question from a subscriber. She asked, Candice, you said that feminine is the energetic foundation of life. Can you please tell me more about that? Ruth. So in order to answer Ruth's question properly, I'm going to have to really answer the question first, what is energy? Here's when you're going to learn a little bit more about the 20 years of my esoteric spiritual training. I'll try to keep it simple for the sake of this video and not go on too much, but I want to give you some understanding of energy in light of what is called the human subtle body makeup, or really what makes up being a human being. So a human being is made up of a body and other subtle bodies. Now the body we know well, we give birth to the body, it grows, it ages, it can get hurt, you can cut it in surgery, that kind of thing, and then it dies, the physical body dies. But a human being is actually made up of other subtle body systems. The next one that's most sort of closely related to the physical body is really the energy body, right? So it's also called the etheric body, the prana, or the chi. Now you may have heard that from other systems like from Ayurveda or from acupuncture or Chinese medicine, for example. The etheric body is a sort of Western esoteric term. Now the energy body is the life force that upholds or animates, if you like, the physical body. Now we know this because when a person dies, what happens is this thing called rigor mortis sets in and the body starts to rigidify. And now the reason for that is the energy body, the energetic piece, has actually moved away from the physical body. It shows us that the energy body, the etheric body, is the thing that keeps things fluid and moving, keeps the blood moving, keeps things moving throughout, the breath moving, and all of the systems of the physical body. But I'll come back to that in a bit more detail in a second. Now, the other subtle bodies are that of the mind and of consciousness. Now, in some spiritual traditions, mind, thoughts, beliefs, consciousness, and spirit are all kind of the same thing. In other traditions, like the one that I come from, we sort of separate the mind and the beliefs and the emotions a bit from the spirit, the higher self, the self, that kind of thing. But here today, Ruth's question is about energy, so I want to return to that. So I want to come back to the energy body because it's important. The reason why I'm teaching you about this and I'm answering this question is we believe that energy is some sort of finite or limited quantity and that we don't have really sort of command or control over that. And I want to explain there are ways that we can do that. In fact, it's kind of one of the core tenets of my whole training with women. So this etheric body that animates and juices up and keeps the water, it's the water element. It keeps things juicy and alive in the physical body. So without it, we don't actually, well, we die. Without it, we die. But when we have it, this sense of life force, creative force, and it's so closely related to the sexual energy, is able to actually move through us, right? And as you understand this other body that is also sort of immersed like this sponge around the physical body, you start to understand that a lot of spiritual trainings and techniques and the like are designed to help you to master this aspect of yourself as a human being. So where does this creative force, this life force, come from? Well, let's just start with this. Life force, energy, is to the feminine what thoughts, inspiration, and ideas are to the masculine. Now, that's a gross oversimplification of what the feminine and masculine forces are in the universe, in a human being. And if you want to know more about that, you go and look at the Upanishads, thousands and thousands of years, lots and lots of details. There is writings about human subtle body systems and the understanding of the spiritual and energetic side, the masculine and feminine, that go way, way back. So this force, this universal force that is the variously called the divine feminine, Shakti, the dragon, the universal mother, This is the feminine. This is the creative, sexual life force that we all have, men and women. That is what we are resting on. Now, this is experienced through lots of things in our daily life. Now, I really want to emphasize that this is why, or as you become more and more subtle or subtle energetically, you start to choose where you live, the type of land or land energy that you like to live on. You're more careful about the food that you eat, how you eat it, the environment in which you eat it. You're aware of air quality, the water that you drink. All of these things you become more subtly aware of because you're aware that we ingest these things. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this piece up is, as a human being, we are not a closed system. And what that means is we are immersed in our environment all of the time. Now, if we're immersed in our environment, you could say that, well, you don't go and sit on the subway train and close your eyes and meditate. The reason you don't there is because you spread your energy, and we know that the subway is not the cleanest space and place to do that in, right? To the contrary, you go out for a walk in the forest, you're going to feel that your energy starts to spread. It's going to feel nourished there. It's going to feel enriched by the environment, right? It's a different experience that I'm sure that you can relate to those two contrasts there. So when you've become understanding of your energy body and become subtly aware and more sensitive, and when I say sensitive, I'm saying that's a good thing. You want to be sensitive energetically. In fact, that's actually what I do with my women, is I make you more and more sensitive so that you're able to be discerning about what feels good and doesn't feel good to you energetically. Now, I just want to stress here as a little aside, I'm not talking about the exchange of emotions and thoughts and ideas that we know we have with each other too, because we're not a closed system, because that's the realm of the other subtle bodies, of the mind, etc. That's not the topic of today's discussion. So the quality of energy that you are choosing to be around in your daily life. Now, I'm in this situation where I've just moved from a very urban, loud noises, cars with thumping bass lines playing, lots of noise, lots of people, to a place where I'm literally kind of living in the trees. There's so many trees around me in my new house. It's very, very quiet. It's very, very held. And I'm noticing that my meditation experience is very, very different. It's way more deep. I feel way more nourished here. Energetically, this is a way more feminine environment, because the life force of the land that my apartment is sitting on is very rich. It's got a lot of trees, a lot of plants, a lot of water. It's a bit more separated from other people. There's less traffic, there's less noise, there's this impact, you see? So for me, I'm super, super sensitive energetically, so I need to be in this kind of environment. I like to be in a very feminine environment to live my life from and to run my business from. Once again, this is why I focus my trainings for women on their belly, their womb, their pussy, because it is through this re-engagement, this enriching relationship, that you get back into your feminine power, which is held there because it's the thing that's most closely, as in it's right next to life force. And you start to be able to command this energy. So anywhere, right? So we fly, we get on airplanes, we get on buses, and we do get on subways. And so we need to know how to actually take care of our energy and to be able to use this life force, command it, I think is the word. And that's when you start to step into your queen and eventually your priestess, when you can actually command life force and you're in command of the energetic flows that come with that. So I hope, Ruth, this answered your question, however briefly, at least as an introduction, and as to what the energetic foundations of the feminine are, and why the feminine power and energy and life force and sexuality are all so closely linked. And if you are out of touch with those things as a woman, you're really out of touch with the foundations of your feminine power. If you enjoyed my video today, I'd love a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, subscribe over here. I do publish every week. This is a free resource. I'm really here to show you how to become powerfully feminine again. And remember, when you go out there and shine, you give others permission to do the same. So let's go out there and shine this week. Bye-bye for now.